All right, so Chris, talk to us about how this all started here. Were you the first one to race in your family? Did you go as a kid? Break it down. How'd you get into it?
So yeah, I mean, we went to the racetrack a couple times when I was a kid, but before I was born, my dad had a car with Chad Allen, who is George Allen's son.
Okay, yep.
And they raced modifies for a couple of years before Chad moved down south to work in NASCAR.
Yep.
And then when I was born and Chad had left kind of at the same time, my dad kind of stepped away from racing. And then...
Isn't George Allen like Mark LaGianessa's brother-in-law or something like that?
Yep. So
Yeah.
our family's all really tight. That's why I'm friends with like the LaGianesses.
Yep.
The DeZonia, like Bumsy DeZonia was the first one, and then Pete DeZonia, Mike DeZonia was Haley's father.
Yep.
Haley was a flower girl in our wedding 12 years ago. Mike did all the food. His wife made the cake. His father married us.
Wow.
So like our families are all really
intertwined. Yeah.
Which is where the 87 comes from.
Oh, okay.
George's number.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that, and then I mean, I wanted to race, but I was like a really lazy kid. So my dad was kind of like, I'm not going to dump a bunch of money into this because, I mean, I didn't want to do anything. But when I got to, I went to Norwich Tech.
Yep.
And Mark Bogue, who ran at Oxford in the 80s and actually did some Bush North racing. And Norm Sears owned a car garage called Pro Car Care down the street from the high school. And they gave me a job, and I worked there for a while to kind of show that I wanted to do it.
Yep.
And yeah, we got a Buick Regal and stripped it, and then we started racing.
So, Rems, you can put this up on the this number 7. So that's George Allen. That's probably 1973.
Yeah. Yep.
He had a pretty decent year there. Won like 3 out of the 4 races. So that's pretty cool. I never knew that 87 was connected to your 87. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and he's killing it down south too. So it would be George's grandson, Brady Allen.
Yep.
He's racing sprint cars all over the East Coast. Actually, he comes up here, races Seekonk.
Really?
And visits when he comes up here, and he's winning races all over the place. Asphalt, dirt.
Wow. So who's older, by the way, you or Danny?
I'm older.
You're older?
A little less than 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. How many years did he race?
Dan kind of like spot raced on and off for like, I don't know, 3 years. I
Was
think.
it that? Yeah.
Like 15, he ran a couple maybe. I don't think he raced at all in 16, and then he ran like 3 races in 17, and then 2018 when he came out with that car everyone talks about.
Yeah. Badass.
And ran like 4 or 5 races. And I think he's done a few. Like he ran one of my cars a couple times. And then he ran a couple races a few years ago. A car my sister actually owned, and then he drove Sean Gaedicke's car a few times 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, was your first division at the Speedbowl the Strictly Stocks?
Yeah, yep. We started right there, and it was not a good start either.
What year did you start?
2008, we ran 10 races, and I wrecked 8 of them.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because 2010, you won your first race. That's the first year we did Sid's View.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that. And so, just talk a little bit about that division when you got in there, because there were some heavy hitters back then.
Yeah, so 2008, 9, 10. 2008, 2009, there was like 12 cars, but there was a few good names, Oldham, Stone, Hovey, some guys like that.
Brandon Plemons was still there.
Yep, Brandon Plemons. And then the field started to grow a little bit. We managed to like sneak a win out in 2010. I think I had like 3 top 5s that year, and then Jay Stewart was helping us then, and we hit the nail on the head with the setup, and I won that race. And then we came back the next week, and I thought I was going to win every race, and I wrecked it in the heat race. And then we struggled for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the wasn't it you and Oldham that then you guys got together and then like got sent to the infield, and that was like one of the first meltdowns that we had on Sid's View. I remember that.
That's where Livewire came from. Was
Yeah.
that night? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
Was it a buckler thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was also in 2010. We kind of got the car going a little better, and I felt like I was in position to win that race or compete for the win in that race. And there was a caution, and I was leading, and Ronnie was in third. And man, I love Ronnie, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, now, like that was a
Right.
small period of time where we didn't get along. But he drove into me and just spun me out, and I pulled up alongside of him, like really mad, and especially because I'm not 100%, but I think the rear end of that car belonged to us because he
Oh,
had
really?
blown the rear end like the week before. And my dad's like, sure, yeah, no, whatever we can do to help you out. He's one of Jay's guys. And so we did that. And I pulled up alongside of him, and he actually hit me first. And then I went down. I hit him a couple times. And then when that big dude came out of that race car, I was like, I'm out of here. I was like, I'm all set. I weighed like 115 pounds, maybe.
Yeah.
I tried to drive on the trailer. There was only one ramp down. I almost crashed the car into my own trailer. I was like, I was like 18. I was like,
Yeah.
Dad, you got to get me out of here. He's going to kill me. I was scared to death.
Now, what about the infamous race with Monahan? What's it? I think it was
There
2012.
was a couple.
The
Yeah.
infamous race.
The 2012 one where you got into him going into. Well, you guys, I think, were battling for the last few laps in that race. But the famous clip is the last lap.
Yeah.
You get into him into turn 3, and he gathers it back, doesn't spin out, gathers it back, and gets you at the line. That's one of my favorite clips. That's,
Dude, I just rewatched it again for some. Did you put it up or something?
I did not. No.
So for my brother to even save it because he was cranked, slid between two cars. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
had the eye vision, was red beaming on the back of that car.
What's the name of that episode? Do you remember?
It's going to get ugly.
It's gonna get ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great speedball finish, really.
So I've always said that clip is everything good and bad about your brother, all wrapped in 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Like he can race you so hard that somebody can do what you did to him going into turn 3, right? He has an amazing amount of car control, which let him gather that back up. I think it was Josh Galvin was behind him. Nobody passed him.
Right.
And then still hunted him down, and then in classic Sean Monahan, let the emotions get the best of him.
Yeah.
Spun Chris out and got himself DQ'd. It's like everything about Monahan all wrapped in one.
Yeah.
It's an epic clip. Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to beat him so bad. You know what I mean? Like, we finally had the pieces were coming together for us.
Yeah.
With that car. And I had Terry Brick help me with the setup. And that was our first year with Andy. And Andy kind of was like, you're going to be my guy, which is what I wanted, because I wasn't really the guy with Jay. I wasn't really the guy at TLB. That was Moose. And then Andy didn't really have anybody who was willing to spend any money. Not that we had a lot of money, but
Yeah.
we were like, let's build the best engine we can build.
Yeah.
And we were willing to do that. And some of the guys he had at the time, I think maybe didn't have the funds for that or whatever.
Yeah.
So we finished like, I don't know if we finished like third in the opener or second in the opener. And that was to Pulio and Beal. Pulio wasn't racing full time that year, so I'm like, okay. And at the time, and I know Charlie's done quite a few things now, but at the time I was like, man, that had to be a fluke. Like, I'm going to be the guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I was young and I was really cocky, like way overconfident. So I was like, I'm going to get Sean. The first mistake I made was trying to go to the outside of him because he drove me in the fence like
Yeah.
3 straightaways in a row. And then once he did that, I was like, honestly, I'm going to wreck him, you know?
Yeah.
And not that that's a good thing to do. Or,
Yeah.
like, I'm wrecking this guy. Like, he just drove me in the fence. I went to the outside and
You were fiery back in the day.
Yeah, you definitely had a lot of
Yeah.
fire in you.
He was
for
wired.
sure.
I had a chip in my shoulder, man.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have the easiest time in school. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I get in this car. Yeah, I'm 120 pounds, but not in the race car. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
Right.
that division, like you were talking about when I first started, it was either go fast or get out of the way, and they would just boot you.
That is the
Yeah.
truth. You
So-
really learn how to drive.
Yeah.
You learn how to drive, but you learn how to be an animal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you have to drive aggressive. If you don't drive aggressive, don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going to Thompson back in our day. If you weren't going to be aggressive, you might as well just leave it on the trailer.
I don't know if it's because we were doing Sid's View there. I was still doing the program there. So, I was like in it when it was Speedbowl Weekly. But you can put that early to mid 2010 street stock division at the bowl up against anything. You had Pulio, Stone, Hovey, Galvin, you, Alan Coates came back. Norm Root would still come back every once in a while, the old man.
Yep.
Brandon Plemons would still make it, right? Then Corey Hutchins came back. Like, it was really like an all-star league at that point. Ed Gertch came back, and you had Gertch and Coates and Norm Root. They were all former champions.
Well, I don't know if that's the year. What? We may have came back too with our Thompson Streeters.
Oh, that's right. We had the 99.
Yeah, we came back and ran like the last 6 shows.
Right. Yep.
Me and my brother with our Thompson
and of course
Streeters.
Sean. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was always just really good, and like Ronnie Oldham, right? Like there was.
And Oldham was fast too.
Yeah, he always had a fast
Don't forget Dan Dartstead when he was driving for
that's
Nate
right.
and Jeff Granger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the most put together team.
Yep.
Like 2013, or was it 20? I think it was 2012.
I think that's right.
With Nate and Granger and all those crew guys and Darnstead driving, that was like a really, that was the most put together team. It's a shame it didn't last longer because, and I ended up, Jeff joined my team like right after all that kind of fell apart, and I've been really good friends with Jeff Granger since. But yeah, there was so many, not just good drivers, but good teams, and a lot of money being spent in all the right places, and a lot of people taking a lot of care to build really nice race cars.
Yeah.